Just- But during that time, like I learned to listen to the voice of God and what He wants for my future in my life. During that alone time, it became very clear. Okay, yes, as much as I want to go back to Louisiana, like that feeling like God's calling was here.
Yeah.
And I felt that so strong. And during that time overseas, like all this built up to this point. And through this period of a long, like someone would come into my life and I was like, they would fix that alone season for me, right?
Yeah.
But then God would say, let that go.
Yeah.
Let that, let that, let that go. And that was probably the hardest thing to do. But because of that obedience, though, during those alone times, I thank God for it and I had some great people around me to encourage me through that time. Um, I was able to say, okay, God, I'm gonna answer your call and I'm gonna stay.
Right.
And if I wouldn't have stayed, honestly, I think I've shared this before, but it wasn't even weeks later after I made that decision to stay is when I met our pastor. And it was at that moment where, to be honest, the day that I met our pastor, I was going and I was so alone. I was in my bedroom where I was staying, and a great man of God that I was living with knocked on that door and said, John, get up, get dressed, you're coming with me. I wasn't even near about dressed. I was having, I was like in that room for probably 2 days and didn't want to come out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the last thing I wanted to do. But I was submitted to him, right? So
Yeah.
I got up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a white t-shirt on, and we're going to a business meeting. I didn't. He's like, "You're coming with me." I put a pair of slacks on, and this is not me. I think I had white socks on with dress shoes, and I threw a winter coat over my white t-shirt. This is, if you know me, this is not me, right? That is not me.
Yeah.
But I was so alone and I was so down, and he said, "You're coming with me," and I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "All right, drive us here." And we show up to this meeting, and I walk in, and there I sit beside Pastor, and he starts talking to me and invites me to come play ball in Talmadge, and I meet Christian, and because of all that, I meet my wife.
Yeah.
During that alone time,
Yeah.
is what set me up for my future.
You really learn to trust God in the alone time. And
Yes.
it makes me think, and we've talked about this a lot recently, but it makes me think of David. If it wasn't for that alone time in the field, it's not so much the wilderness, but alone time. And we can correlate the alone time to the wilderness. But David fought the bear and the lion in the alone time,
Yeah.
and that prepared him for that giant.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't have been for those moments in the alone time where you learned to trust God, you wouldn't have been prepared for what was next, meeting pastor, meeting Christian, meeting
Yeah.
Ashlyn. You wouldn't have been prepared for that moment. And then in the ministry you have now, John does a fantastic job of leading the greeting team in our church. John is, if you've never met John in person, he's one of the most personable people, one of the most likable people I've ever met personally. And God wouldn't have, you wouldn't have allowed yourself to get to that point if you wouldn't have trusted God in that alone time.
It's a very hard thing to do, but I can tell you there was a point in my life where I felt like God stripped everything away. He took away my career path that I thought I had, right? I wanted to be in the medical field with everything in me. Guess what? I'm the furthest from the medical field, right? Like, I I had it all planned out. I had my friend group. I had this. I had all this set in stone. And God's like, no, I got something greater for you. But at that time, right? Like,
That's hard.
and it was stripped away. And I was going through a blood disorder. But God, during these stepping stones, I was like, God, if this is your will, heal me. And He healed me. And I'm like, okay, next stepping stone, right? Like, okay, now I'm alone. What are you going to try to do with me here?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying this because of me. I'm saying this during these alone times. I know this sounds really crazy. You need people that'll tell you the truth in your life,
Yeah.
whether you want to hear it or not. And I had those people in my life, and I thank God for it because if I would have gone by just my feelings, I would not be here right now.
Right. And that goes back to what we say a lot. It's important who you surround yourself with.
For more of this, watch the Casting Faith podcast on YouTube.